$100,000 in margin right now on Robinhood. Let's get into why. So first, as we know, it is earnings week. All right. And as an option seller, earnings week is the best. Implied volatility is going to be at its highest within the next 3 months. And this is where you're going to collect the most premiums. Okay. Tomorrow morning, we have SoFi, PayPal, Spotify, United Health Group, Procter & Gamble, Boeing, UPS, Merck. We have a lot of companies. And then after the close, Visa, Starbucks, Mara, EA Sports, Teladoc Health. Wednesday, arguably the biggest day. We have Etsy, a few of these companies, but after the close is where it's going to get big. Microsoft, Meta, Hood, Qualcomm, ARM, Carvana, FICO, eBay, Ford. We have a lot of companies, okay? And Thursday, MasterCard, Ferrari, Roblox, Shell, CVS. All right. And another big day. Wednesday and Thursday are going to be the big days. Amazon, Apple, two very big companies. Coin, MSTR, Reddit, Cloudflare, Roku, First Solar, Riot, lots of companies. And then Friday, Exxon, Chevron, basically your energy companies. Okay, so I am $200,000 in margin right now, and if you don't believe me, it says margin used is 188, and that is also I have options collateral, which puts me over 200, but I sold covered calls, which gave me credits, and the credits put me a little bit under 200K. But with the options and all that, it's well over 200K. So what are my positions, and why am I in so much margin? My margin risk right now is low risk. I am 26,000 above my margin maintenance. Let's get into my positions. So, Meta. I am pretty much betting on Meta's earnings, okay? I am market value of 358,000. My portfolio is only 141,000, so it's a little over 200K of margin. All right. About 500 shares, an average cost of $7.19. Yeah, people are going to be like, oh man, you're already down. That sucks. It does, but I sold in the money covered calls, okay? I sold my 665s. My average credit was around 58. Let's see. Yeah, so 3 contracts at 60-30. And I sold a couple other ones for 57 to 58 earlier. So, 358,000 of Meta, which is insane to look at. But my value right now is $28,000 of covered call credits, okay? I can go ahead and break that down for you guys. Let me head to the spreadsheet so I can break it down a lot clearer for you guys. So if you look here, bought 500 shares of Meta. I bought it at $719.31 as my average cost, and I'll be selling it at $665, which without the covered call credits shows as a $27,000 loss. Now when I go to the option side of Meta, I averaged after all the 5 contracts averaged $5,926 per contract. 5 contracts, that nets me about $29,630. So $29,630 is about $2,500-ish above that. So that is my expected profit to get on Meta, about $2,500-ish. And then as you can see, spoiler alert, already broke down the other trades. Also doing Amazon earnings, I sold a put, got $154 credit, 1 contract, and I still had some capital left over, so I decided to play SoFi's earnings as well, 7 contracts for $10. These are the 18 puts, and Amazon is the 220, I believe. I will go double check on that real quick. But those are the trades. This is risky because you are using margin. So yes, 220 put, and I sold the 18 puts. So SoFi would have to drop a lot, really. Let me just, not really used to using the laptop. But SoFi would have to drop, what, $3, which is around 15%. If SoFi dropped 15%, 18 wouldn't be a terrible place to start a position. Or I could just start selling in the money covered calls on SoFi as well. So that was just a play, just to use the remaining capital of $70. I've done the math. I believe my interest will be around $20 per day of margin interest, which accumulates to about $100. That's another reason why I wanted to sell some other stuff, because I got 154 average credit. So this Amazon put will make up for all of the margin cost this week. Okay. Now, obviously, I need Meta to be above 665 by this Friday, August 1st. I'm betting a lot of money that it will be. I mean, Meta would have to fall, almost $52 per share this week, which if it does, I will have a $28,000 realized gain of premium. And pretty much it would bring my average cost down to about 665. So in reality, my portfolio wouldn't move. I would just have a massive unrealized loss, since my cost basis on these shares shows about 719, and I would have a massive realized gain. But my portfolio would stay flat, even if Meta did fall that much. But this is how I play options, and this is how I leverage money to my advantage, right? Oh, let me go back to the spreadsheet and show you guys exactly what I'm set to make. So, you do all these trades. August 1st, we're set to make around $2,700 this week. That is a 1.91% in a week on my money. That is absolutely insane. And I feel like I played it pretty safe going down that far with Meta. And honestly, I think Meta is going to crush earnings. I think anything Meta is going to be flat or up. I think Meta is a great company. But since I'm playing with so much money and I'm risking margin, I wanted to play extra safe. And honestly, $2,700 a week, or almost 2% in a week, is amazing to me. No need to get, overly greedy and try to play at the money or something like that. I like to be very well hedged with every trade I do. I mean, that's generally what I'm doing, is selling in the money calls, or I'm selling cash secured puts. Basically running the wheel strategy, except my goal is to be out of my trades every single week. I want to be 100% cash on Saturdays and Sundays. Okay, that's my goal. So that's why I'm playing so safe here and trading in the money calls so deep in the money, because it's generating me an amazing income, 1.91% in a week. You tell anyone they can make that in a week, they're taking that trade. They're taking 1% a week. Honestly, I'd take it 1% a week. I would love to make 1% every single week. 1.91, and I feel like I'm being super conservative. I mean, that right there is just a no-brainer to me. Absolute no-brainer. So basically, those are my trades. And another thing I like about Meta is when you look at Meta, especially with the Bollinger Bands, Meta's getting really tight. So the tighter these Bollinger Bands get, that means basically a bigger move is coming, right? So let's see if we can find an example. Like for here, it got tight, bounced in the Bollinger Bands, and then boom, kind of broke out a little bit. Then the Bollinger Bands got tight again, and boom, we had a breakout. So usually when the Bollinger Bands are getting tight like this, usually a move is coming. But if you look at where I basically sold my in the money things, they are right here. I've lined it up with August 1st and 665. So yes, this Bollinger Band could start to come down if Meta absolutely tanked. But like I said, Meta's at 717. We're $52 in the green. Even if Meta did sink 5%, I would still be good. But Yeah, that's what we're working with right now, guys. Um, Absolutely love this spreadsheet. I've been tracking all my trades since May 2nd, basically. And when I do my in the money trades, this column shows up as losses because I'm usually selling my shares for less than I paid for it. So all of this will show up as a loss. And then these big numbers like 8,000, 8,000, 7,000, that's basically me collecting the premium for those shares. And shows your my initial capital since May 2nd. And yeah, so if we could collect this almost $2,700 this week, that would be absolutely insane to me. But yes, I am putting a lot of money on the line with Meta. SoFi is also broke out a little bit. It's coming back down to the white. I sold 18s, which are about right here, which is almost where the bottom of the Bollinger Band is. So, and that generated me like a little over 0.5%. I wasn't looking to make too much money. I just wanted my capital to go to work. And then Amazon sold the 220s, which is also a little bit above the green Bollinger Band, about right here. But I sold over here, so about right here. Amazon is very, very high, breaking the top Bollinger Band. It will, if it does break it, if it does shoot up, it will not be above it for long. As you can see, breaks 1, 2, the third day, we're back in. And Google, guys, broke earnings, right? What did I was talking about Google right here. I was like, even if it does break, it's not going to stay above it for too long. What had happened? Google literally had earnings, shot up, amazing, and that same day came right back down into the Bollinger Bands. Bollinger Bands is the best. It's one of the best, if not the best, way to trade stocks. Like right now, Google, you have a lot more risk coming down to the downside than you would the upside. The upside is very limited. Downside, a lot more potential for it to happen. At least coming down to this middle line, the white line. And that is the Bollinger Band setup if any of you guys need to manually input it. But I'm on Yahoo Finance, and when you add Bollinger Bands as indicators, this is the one that comes up. But S&P 500, we're going to go over the market too real quick. S&P 500 literally breaking the top of the Bollinger Bands. I mean, it's getting tight, and you can see it's getting really tight. You know, we could easily fall back down to this white line soon. We've done it a few times in the past. And this was that April 7th tariff. We broke below it, and what happened? We came right back up into it. We ride the bottom, we come back to the white line. Ride the bottom, break through the white. So don't be surprised if we fall back down to this white line soon. It's very possible to happen. And the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is looking the same as the S&P 500. We are at the very top of the Bollinger Band. Even if earnings do well, this Bollinger Band might curve up, but it's going to come right back into the Bollinger Band. But at the same time, we are overbought, guys. Let me pull up. I like to use Webull for some of this stuff. But let's go to the QQs real quick since we got to pull up. RSI is sitting at 73. It'll show it right here once I move my mouse out the way. 73.30. Absolutely insane. The Qs have been respecting my EMAs. The yellow is the 8 and the green is the 21. It's been respecting it this whole time. We've had one breakdown to the 21, and it's been, I mean, this is as bullish as a trend as you could get, right? I'm not saying bet against the market. I'm just saying be cautious, right? Because everyone's getting greedy. Everyone's, really bullish about the market. And like Warren Buffett says, that's the time you should be a little fearful. All right. If you guys were trading in November 2021, everybody was bullish. And it was around Thanksgiving. Everything dropped off after that for the next year. So, and we are significantly overbought. We don't stay overbought for long either. Same thing with the Bollinger Bands is the RSI. If we're overbought, we're not overbought for long. We're overbought, we come back down. Right now, we're overbought. So very soon, we could come right back down to under 70. It's very, very possible. But I am definitely bullish. You have to think we're having interest rate cuts in the near future. A lot, everything is just setting up for a good stock market, probably next 12 to 18 months. I mean, we don't know how tariffs are going to be, but it's starting to seem like tariffs are going to be beneficial to our country. So, very bullish. I mean, when you're in an interest rate cut environment, it's pretty much risk on. I mean, that's just how it is. 2022, interest rates were going up, everything fell, and now interest rates are coming down. And guess what? Market's been ripping ever since. So, bullish but cautious. I guess you could say that's my position right now. Bullish but cautious. So, that's the video, guys. Don't dog me in the comments about my meta trade. I know it's risky, but I'm very, very in the money, so I'm not really that worried about it. And I think Meta's a great company as well. So hopefully at the end of the week, all this expires. These puts expire worthless, and Meta expires over 665. And I will be $2,700 up in the portfolio. That's the plan. If you guys are trading earnings, let me know how you guys are trading it. And if you're selling options, what are you selling? But that wraps up the video, guys. Peace.